soundbite of Buddy Hackett's distinctive voice, perhaps a snippet of his exasperated "no we no have sprit pea soup," or a burst of his infectious booming laughter. Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place where we peel back the layers on the people and stories that really define our culture. You know, the ones that leave a lasting mark.
That's right.
Today, we're unwrapping a gift of, well, pure comedic genius, a man whose face became so familiar, almost like your own reflection, yet his full story, it often feels just slightly out of reach. Have you ever found yourself just laughing uncontrollably at a joke, maybe charmed by a character on screen, and then thought, who is that guy? There's something really unique there.
It happens all the time with certain performers.
Exactly. And today, we're taking that deep dive into the extraordinary life, the multifaceted career of a comedian who absolutely embodied that feeling. The one, the only, Buddy Hackett.
It's a really compelling journey we're about to take. Yeah. What's truly remarkable, I think, is that Buddy Hackett was so much more than just a comedian. He was a true cultural fixture for decades.
Yeah, fixture is the right word.
His career touched almost every aspect of American entertainment. You know, from those gritty comedy clubs right up to Broadway, the silver screen, into our living rooms, through TV.
Everywhere.
Our mission today is really to go beyond just the punchlines, beyond the memorable characters, and uncover the why behind that enduring appeal. The sheer versatility that really cemented his legacy as, well, a legend.
Versatility is key, isn't it?
Absolutely. He was a master at connecting with audiences, like on a deeply personal level. Made him feel like an old friend, even if you only knew him from, the screen.
Totally agree. And you listening are in for a genuine treat today. We're going to unpack his surprising beginnings, trace his roots from working-class Brooklyn all the way to the rough-and-tumble Catskills circuit.
The famous Borscht Belt?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll explore his signature comedic style, those unforgettable film roles, the ones that endeared him to generations, his ubiquitous presence on television, which really made him a household name.
He was constantly on TV.
And we'll even delve into some, lesser-known aspects of his personal life, reveal the man behind that boisterous laughter. So get ready for some real aha moments, because while you might instantly recognize his voice, you're about to gain a much deeper understanding of the fascinating journey that shaped the man behind it. We're going to explore what made Buddy Hackett, Buddy Hackett.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's begin our exploration right at the very beginning. Many comedic legends, they adopt a stage name, right? But the man we knew and loved as Buddy Hackett was actually born Leonard Hacker.
Leonard Hacker. Sounds so different.
It really does. He arrived on August 31st, 1924, right in the vibrant heart of New York City. And his upbringing, it paints this vivid picture, almost archetypal for that generation of comedians.
Yeah, you see that pattern?
He grew up in a close-knit Jewish family, Borough Park, Brooklyn. His mother, Anna Geller, worked in the garment trades. His father, Philip Hacker, was a furniture upholsterer, and this is interesting, a part-time inventor.
An inventor. Wow.
Yeah, he was one of two kids. So, considering that specific time, that place, what was it about his early environment that might have hinted, maybe subtly, maybe not so subtly, at the performer he'd become?
Well, to really get the foundations of his comedic genius, you kind of have to connect his upbringing to that bigger picture of early 20th century New York.
Right.
Growing up across from PS 103 on 54th Street and 14th Avenue in this bustling, working-class Brooklyn neighborhood, that wasn't just geography, it was like character forging.
It shaped him.
Absolutely. This environment, it wasn't just a backdrop, it was a constant source of inspiration, of material. These communities, brimming with diverse personalities, immigrant stories, daily struggles, little triumphs, they became this rich training ground for observational humor.
You see it everywhere.
It instilled a certain, streetwise grit, a sharp wit honed in banter, that rapid-fire delivery you often got from the pace of city life.
Yeah.
For Leonard Hacker, it meant constant exposure to this kaleidoscope of human nature.
All the absurdities.
Exactly. The absurdities, the poignant moments. That became the fodder for his really relatable comedy later on. This is where the seeds of that distinctive New York accent, his direct approach, his innate understanding of human flaws, they were definitely sown there, long before he ever stepped on a stage.
Okay, delving deeper here. This is where his story gets particularly interesting, maybe a bit poignant. that instantly recognizable speech pattern, that almost gravelly, slightly slurred delivery that became such a hallmark of his comedy.
Unmistakable.
Along with the brash material, his heavy appearance, the thick New York accent, it wasn't just an affectation. It wasn't something he put on.
Yeah.
It was actually the result of a childhood condition. He suffered from Bell's palsy as a kid.
Bell's palsy, wow.
Yeah, that neurological thing causes temporary weakness or paralysis on one side of the face. And the lingering effects, they actually contributed to his distinctive slurred speech and that unique facial expression.
That's incredible. So that sort of signature look and sound?
Came from something real, yeah. How do you think this personal challenge, consciously or unconsciously, shaped his delivery and ultimately his whole stage persona?
Well, a crucial point definitely emerges here about how personal challenges can often be sort of transmuted into unique artistic strengths. For Hackett, what might have initially seemed like a hindrance, this distinctive speech, the facial expression from Bell's palsy, it became an integral, really an iconic part of his comedic cadence and his whole appeal.
Right, it defined him.
It wasn't something he had to learn or manufacture. It was inherently, authentically him. And that authenticity, born from a very real physical experience, probably made him instantly recognizable and, honestly, maybe more endearing.
Because it was real.
Exactly. Because it was so fundamentally him. There was no artifice there. Audiences, they often form deep connections with performers who bring their full, unfiltered selves to stage vulnerabilities and strengths. This physical trait became this powerful, distinguishing characteristic. It resonated deeply, contributed to an inherent warmth, a kind of accessible vulnerability that you felt even under his most, boisterous routines. Made him feel incredibly human.
Imagine stepping onto a stage, right, trying to make people laugh, and getting nothing, not a single chuckle.
Oof. Tough crowd.
Tough is an understatement. Yet, pressing on despite that takes some serious tenacity. Before he was the Buddy we know, he started as Butch Hacker.
Butch Hacker.
Yeah, cutting his teeth as a tumbler, great Yiddish word, means tumult maker, in the Catskills Borscht Belt resorts. His job was basically to keep the energy up, entertain guests between acts, just stir things up.
Keep the party going.
Right. He actually claimed, kind of humbly, that he didn't get one single laugh at his very first stand-up gig, Golden Hotel, Hurleyville, New York.
Wow, and he kept going.
He kept going. And then, after high school graduation in '42, he put the entertainment stuff on hold, enlisted in the U.S. Army, served 3 years during World War II in an anti-aircraft battery.
So from tumbler to soldier, big shift.
Huge shift. What do these incredibly formative, kind of contrasting experiences tell us about the character, the drive, that forged Buddy Hackett before he really hit the big time?
It's truly fascinating, isn't it, to see the combination of these two, like incredibly formative yet starkly contrasting experiences shaping his early life. The Borscht Belt was this intense, often raucous, highly improvisational training ground, a real crucible, forged so many famous comedians of that era.
Tough school.
Absolutely. It demanded quick thinking, an acute ability to read a room, work a room, and just a sheer presence to command attention in that kind of chaos. The fact that he initially faced, 0 laughs and still pushed through, that speaks volumes about his drive, his resilience, his belief in his own comedic voice, even when it was totally unproven.
Gotta admire that.
That period instilled a fearlessness, an understanding of timing, rhythm. Then you juxtapose that with the stark discipline, the immense gravity of military service during a global conflict.
Right. World War II.
This blend of experiences likely gave him not just his quick wit and stage resilience, but also a broader, more grounded perspective on life. His later observational humor often had this unique weight, this universal relatability that could easily have stemmed from those diverse but profoundly impactful early years. It's a powerful testament to how complex backgrounds shape an artist's character and ultimately their craft.
So after serving his country during the war, the transformation really kicks in, and Buddy Hackett is truly born. His first pro job after coming back was at the Pink Elephant in Brooklyn, and it was there he made the official shift, changing his name from Leonard Hacker.
Goodbye, Leonard. Hello, buddy.
Exactly. From those early Brooklyn club days, he started making waves, performing across the country, LA, Vegas, those burgeoning entertainment hubs, while still keeping those strong roots in the Catskills.
Covering all the bases.
This diverse circuit eventually led him to Broadway. He appeared in Lunatics and Lovers, and that show caught the eye of the legendary producer Max Liebman.
Big deal. Liebman was huge.
Huge, which then paved the way for 2 significant TV specials. It's amazing how a simple name change can symbolize such a fresh start, right? A real statement of identity. What was the significance of these varied venues, Brooklyn clubs, Vegas glitz, Broadway stage, for a budding comedian still finding his voice?
Well, connecting this to his artistic development, these early experiences provided this incredibly diverse, rigorous proving ground. Just essential for a comedian finding their way.
Trial by fire, almost.
Kind of, yeah. Performing in such wildly different environments, having to adapt to vastly different audiences.
Yeah.
Think about it. An intimate, maybe tough crowd in the Catskills or a Brooklyn club versus the more maybe sophisticated expectations of a Broadway theater, and then the spectacle of a Vegas showroom.
Totally different worlds.
Absolutely. This whole process honed his craft in unparalleled ways. It wasn't just about telling jokes. It was mastering timing, developing that unshakable stage presence, understanding crowd psychology, building a repertoire that could work anywhere, resonate with different people.
That versatility again.
Exactly. It taught him invaluable versatility, resilience, allowed him to keep refining his unique persona, his delivery. Ultimately, it prepared him for that broad, multi-platform appeal he later achieved. It was essentially a comprehensive comedic apprenticeship across the entire spectrum of American entertainment at the time.
Okay, now, can you even imagine this? Buddy Hackett as a Three Stooge.
Wait, what? Seriously?
Seriously,
Yeah.
It's one of those fantastic what-if moments in comedy history. His official film career kind of started small in 1950 with a Columbia Pictures World of Sports Reel, King of the Pins. He pantomimed the wrong way to bowl. Funny stuff.
Okay, I can picture that.
But then this persistent anecdote popped up. Jules White, head of Columbia's short subject department, supposedly offered him a spot with the Three Stooges in '52 after Curly Howard sadly died.
No way. Replacing Curly.
The story goes he even rehearsed with Moe and Larry, but ultimately turned it down, felt he didn't quite fit their, very specific style, and really wanted to develop his own solo act.
Wow.
Now, our sources do note this rumor was later dismissed as untrue or unfounded. But even if it's not historically accurate, what does the story itself tell us about his perceived potential, his identity, his ambition at that key moment?
That's a great point. Whether it's totally factual or just, Hollywood lore, the narrative itself raises a crucial question about career turning points, about defining your artistic identity.
Right, making a choice.
The very idea of Hackett choosing to forge his own path rather than slotting into an established, iconic, massively successful act that speaks volumes. His confidence, his self-awareness, his clear desire for solo expression.
He saw something different for himself.
Exactly. The Stooges were known for a very specific brand of physical slapstick. Right, often violent, inherently ensemble-driven. Hackett's humor, while definitely physical and boisterous, was also rooted in observational wit, that unique voice, a more character-driven thing.
Yeah, different flavors of comedy.
So, allegedly turning down such a high-profile offer would have powerfully underscored his commitment to cultivating his own distinctive voice, showcased a profound belief in his unique path, rather than being just, absorbed into an existing comedy machine, however famous. It highlights a remarkable self-awareness about his own comedic identity and the vision he had for his career.
Okay, so he didn't return to movies right away, not until '53. But it was a nightclub routine that really, truly changed everything for him. Let's dig into what became his signature early act, the Chinese waiter routine.
Yes, the famous one.
This is where his career just took off. A pivotal moment really shaped his early celebrity. In this routine, Hackett would famously put a rubber band around his head to slightly slant his eyes.
Okay, yeah, definitely wouldn't fly today.
Absolutely not. Culturally sensitive is putting it mildly. But back then, he'd launch into this hilarious for the time lampoon of the heavy dialect, frustration, and communication problems encountered by a busy waiter in a Chinese restaurant.
I could almost hear it.
He had these classic lines like, "No, we no have split pea soup. We got a want and we got a roll. No order for her, just order for you."
Wow.
The routine was such a massive hit, he recorded it. Its popularity led directly to him being hired to reprise that character in the 1953 musical Walking My Baby Back Home. He was third billed under huge stars Donald O'Connor and Janet Leigh.
So that routine was his big break into movies, really.
Pretty much. How did such a specific and, by today's standards, politically incorrect routine resonate so powerfully with audiences back then? And what does it tell us about how comedy evolves?
Well, what's really compelling here is how that specific character portrayal, despite its, undeniable problematic aspects looking back now,
Definitely problematic.
it absolutely captivated the public's imagination then. And it undeniably showcased Hackett's comedic genius in that particular era. To contextualize it within the 1950s, you have to acknowledge that ethnic caricature, while often insensitive, rooted in stereotypes we now find regrettable.
It was unfortunately common.
It was common, yeah. A comedic device across many forms of entertainment. Hackett's routine, while relying on that exaggerated dialect and stereotypes we rightly find offensive now, it succeeded then because of his masterful physical comedy, his impeccable timing, and his ability to convey this universal sense of exasperation, of communication breakdown.
So it tapped into something broader.
I think so. The specific lines, the delivery typical of the era, tapped into something broader than just ethnic humor. Like the relatable chaos and frustration of service industries, the hustle of a busy restaurant, the universal experience of being misunderstood. It wasn't just mimicry. It was this powerful performance of frantic energy, exasperated sighs that audiences found universally amusing at the time. Connecting it to the bigger picture, it shows the potent power of a comedian to tap into cultural observations, create an enduring character, even as those observations and how they're presented evolve dramatically with changing societal norms. It undeniably catapulted him into national recognition, set a crucial stage for his film career.
Now, talk about high-pressure gigs. In 1954, Buddy Hackett faced this immense challenge. He became an emergency replacement for Lou Costello.
Lou Costello, half of Abbott and Costello.
The one and only. The legendary pair were slated for the film Fireman Save My Child, also featuring Spike Jonze and his City Slickers. But Costello suddenly got sick.
No.
Universal International, wanting to salvage the project, made a pretty daring move. They hired Hugh O'Brian and Buddy Hackett to essentially take over the Abbott and Costello roles. They reconfigured the whole project so Spike Jonze and his band became the main attraction.
Wow, stepping into those shoes. Immense pressure.
Totally. What did this early, really high-stakes opportunity signal about Hackett's presence, his reliability, his growing reputation in the industry?
Yeah, this incident raises an important point about adaptability and the industry's recognition of his unique talents, even pretty early on.
They saw something in him.
Definitely. To even be considered an adequate replacement for Lou Costello, even in a reworked project, that speaks volumes about Hackett's already established comedic chops, his capacity to deliver under pressure.
Costello had such a specific style, too.
He really did. Very specific, physical, high-energy comedic style. Often played the bumbling, exasperated foil to Abbott's schemes. Now, Hackett wasn't a direct impersonator, but he clearly had that unique combination of energetic, lovable, kind of bumbling persona that could successfully fill that void.
He had that energy.
He did. It demonstrated unequivocally he was someone who could carry a significant comedic load, learn a role quickly, integrate seamlessly into a high-profile production. This opportunity really highlighted his emerging reputation as a versatile, dependable, charismatic comedic actor. It signaled to Hollywood, okay, this guy's ready.
He absolutely was everywhere. For many of you listening, maybe you know him best from his film roles, but his television presence, arguably even more defining for a whole generation.
Oh, unquestionably.
Throughout the 50s and 60s, Buddy Hackett became known to this massive audience through his seemingly endless, always memorable TV appearances. He was a regular, much-anticipated guest on variety talk shows hosted by giants like Jack Paar and Arthur Godfrey.
The kings of talk back then.
Absolutely. Known for his brash, often off-color jokes and captivating mugging at the camera. He was also a remarkably frequent guest on both Jack Paar's and later Johnny Carson's versions of The Tonight Show.
Legendary runs on both.
Get this, it's a great Trivial Pursuit fact. He holds the incredible distinction of making the most guest appearances in the history of The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson.
The most. Ever. That's amazing.
The most. And testament to his status, he had that coveted appearance on Paar's emotional final Tonight Show, March 29th, 1962.
Wow. End of an era moment.
Totally. Beyond Tonight, he was a popular panelist, mystery guest on CBS's What's My Line, even filled in as emcee for the game show Treasure Hunt, made 15 guest appearances on NBC's The Perry Como Show between 55 and 61.
15. He really was everywhere.
What was it about his personality, his spontaneous style, that made him such a magnetic, in-demand TV guest for decades?
What's truly compelling there is how Buddy Hackett absolutely mastered the format of the variety and talk show.
Yeah.
He turned it into his own personal comedic playground.
He owned it.
He really did. He wasn't just a comedian delivering rehearsed jokes. He was this dynamic, unpredictable personality. Had this uncanny ability to adapt his boisterous humor for live audiences and connect directly, almost intimately with the camera, made millions at home feel like they were right there in the conversation.
That connection was key.
Absolutely. His quick wit, that slightly mischievous glint in his eye, his genuine, often unfiltered enthusiasm made him captivating, unmissable. He felt incredibly authentic, raw. And audiences respond profoundly to that kind of genuine energy.
You felt like you know him.
Exactly. Connecting this to the bigger picture, this kind of consistent, unscripted, live TV exposure built this incredible, almost familial rapport with the audience. He wasn't just a performer you watched. He felt like a familiar, welcome, always entertaining presence in people's living rooms, a trusted friend who'd always deliver a laugh, often when you least expected it. His ubiquitous presence cemented his place not just as a comedian, but as a beloved fixture in the cultural consciousness for generations. His capacity for genuine, spontaneous humor was truly unmatched in that TV era.
Okay, now this is an absolutely incredible piece of comedic trivia, often gets overlooked.
Lay it on me.
In a truly amazing historical connection, Buddy Hackett appeared alongside his roommate at the time, the legendary boundary-pushing comedian Lenny Bruce.
Roommates with Lenny Bruce.
Wow. On the Patrice Munsell Show between 57 and 58. And what's absolutely remarkable is that they famously called their comedy duo the Not Ready for Primetime Players.
No, really?
This predated the iconic cast of Saturday Night Live using the exact same name by a full 20 years.
That is mind-blowing. What does that fascinating nugget tell us about the vibrant, fertile comedic environment Buddy Hackett was moving in back then? Well, this fascinating detail raises an important question about that fertile, often rebellious ground of comedy in the late 1950s. The pairing of Hackett's, more accessible, boisterous, universally appealing style with Lenny Bruce's edgier, groundbreaking, often controversial social commentary. It's truly remarkable.
Such different style.
Totally different, yet roommates and collaborators. It speaks to a shared sensibility among this new wave of comedians who are actively challenging norms, pushing boundaries, experimenting with what comedy could be, even if their individual approaches were vastly different.
A kind of comedic ferment.
Exactly. It suggests a deep camaraderie, intellectual cross-pollination, mutual respect among these emerging talents who were all, in their own ways, carving out a new space in entertainment. They were, in essence, ahead of their time, crafting this rebellious, fresh brand of humor that would later become mainstream, profoundly influencing generations, including those who would eventually, maybe unknowingly, adopt their iconic moniker. It links Buddy Hackett to one of comedy's most revolutionary forces, paints a picture of a really exciting, unconventional period of experimentation in comedy.
Now, this might be a genuine surprise for many of you listening, given his huge comedic fame. Buddy Hackett wasn't just about broad comedy. He also dipped his toes into dramatic roles.
Yeah, interesting. Like what?
He appeared twice on ABC's gritty Western series The Rifleman, with Chuck Connors and Johnny Crawford.
The Rifleman. Classic show.
In a 1959 episode, Bloodlines, he played Daniel Maliki, the sort of beleaguered father of three rowdy, troublemaking brothers. Then, 2 years later, in the Clarence Bibbs story, he played Bibbs, a seemingly simple handyman who accidentally kills an outlaw.
Whoa. Heavy stuff for a comedian.
Right. And then the outlaw's former partner surprisingly accepts it as an accident. So how did he fare in these dramatic turns? What did these less expected roles reveal about his range as an actor?
Well, what's particularly fascinating here is Hackett's often unappreciated acting range. While he was, predominantly known for that overwhelmingly powerful, memorable comedic persona.
Impossible to forget.
These guest roles in The Rifleman allowed him to showcase an entirely different side of his acting ability. It wasn't about getting laughs. It was about embodying characters with genuine depth, vulnerability, even a quiet intensity.
Like Clarence Bibbs.
Exactly. In Clarence Bibbs, for instance, he portrayed a man grappling with the emotional fallout of an accidental killing. That requires a nuanced emotional portrayal, way beyond just comedic timing. These performances demonstrated his profound capacity for empathy, for characterization, subtly proving his versatility as an actor, not just a comedian.
Showed he had chops beyond laughs.
It really did. It highlighted that a truly gifted performer can transcend genre, bring unexpected seriousness, authenticity when the role demands it. It broadened his artistic credibility beyond just being funny, showcasing a depth audiences rarely saw, but was clearly there.
Okay, imagine this. Buddy Hackett sharing the screen live on television with a young Cara Burnett.
Wow, early Carol Burnett. That's amazing.
It's a tantalizing glimpse into early TV. Hackett starred as the title character in NBC's Stanley. It was a sitcom that ran for 19 weeks, 1956-57's season.
Short run, huh?
Yeah, short run. But this half-hour series also notably featured a young, incandescent Carol Burnett and the distinctive voice of Paul Lynde.
What a cast. Lynn, too.
Yeah. It was a Max Liebman production, aired live before a studio audience, and it holds this significant place in history as one of the very last sitcoms from New York to do that before everything shifted to film.
Live sitcoms. Must have been intense.
Totally. The plot revolved around Stanley, played by Hackett, as the endearing, kind of bumbling operator of a newsstand in a posh New York City hotel. Beyond its short run, what made this show significant for anyone curious about the history, the evolution of TV?
Well, this unique show raises an important point about the evolution of TV production and that specific raw energy of live performance. Stanley represents this critical, fascinating bridge between the golden age of live TV, brimming with spontaneity, theatricality, and the eventual, more controlled shift to film sitcoms, which became the standard.
That transition period.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The inherent challenge of performing a half-hour comedy live, week after week before a studio audience, demanded an incredible level of skill, quick thinking, adaptability, qualities Hackett had in spades from his Borscht Belt and talk show background.
He was built for live TV.
He really was. The combined talents of Hackett's improvisational genius, a young, vibrant Carol Burnett, and the instantly recognizable voice of Paul Lynde undoubtedly created this unique high-wire comedic dynamic. Even if the series itself wasn't a long-running smash hit, its production method was a testament to the raw, unscripted talent that early TV was drawing directly from the stage back then, capturing a spontaneous theatrical quality that became increasingly rare as film took over. It's a snapshot of a really important transitional era.
Okay, these next roles.
Yeah.
These truly cemented Buddy Hackett in cinematic history, endeared him to completely different generations.
Yeah, big ones.
He appeared opposite the legendary Robert Preston as Marcellus Washburn in the classic 1962 film of The Music Man, brought that delightful, slightly bumbling charm.
Shapoopy.
Classic,
Yeah.
exactly. Then famously paired with the energetic Mickey Rooney as Benji Benjamin in the utterly madcap, it's a mad world in 1963.
What a pair. Rooney and Hackett.
And interestingly, that pairing actually built on their chemistry from Everything's Ducky in '61, where they played two sailors smuggling a talking duck onto a Navy ship.
The talking duck. Yeah.
Right. And then, for a whole new younger generation, kids became intimately familiar with him as the lovable hippie auto mechanic, Tennessee Steinmetz, in Disney's huge hit The Love Bug in 1968.
Herbie's mechanic. Loved him.
So, from a classic musical to a wild caper to a heartwarming Disney family film, what does this incredible, expansive range of iconic film roles tell us about his universal appeal, his ability to adapt his comedic style across genres?
Well, what's truly compelling here is the sheer diversity and the enduring impact of these iconic roles. Buddy Hackett wasn't confined or typecast by his distinctive persona. Instead, he brought his unique brand of humor, that instantly recognizable voice, his innate likability, to characters across wildly different genres and tones.
You fit everywhere.
He really did. In The Music Man, he was the charming, slightly naive sidekick, providing that heartwarming counterpoint to Preston's Harold Hill. In Mad World, he was part of this ensemble of comedic titans, holding his own with explosive energy, physical comedy, in that frantic race.
Held his own is right.
And in The Love Bug, he softened his boisterous persona to create this genuinely lovable, slightly eccentric character for families. Introduced himself to a whole new generation. Connecting this to the bigger picture, it shows an actor who had such command of his craft that he could inhabit supporting roles so fully, with such memorable impact, that they often threatened to steal the show, left a lasting impression on millions, all ages.
That adaptability again?
Absolutely. It was key. Proved his humor and charm weren't limited to one type of audience or story, but resonated across the entire cultural spectrum.
Now, that's what I call a classic game show moment. Beyond film and TV series, in '64, Buddy Hackett had another successful Broadway stint with Richard Kiley in I Had a Ball. But he also became this beloved fixture on the game show circuit. Appeared many times on the hugely popular Hollywood Squares in the late '60s and '70s.
Yeah, Hollywood Squares. He was perfect for that.
Perfect. And there's a particularly famous anecdote. In one episode, Hackett, who was Jewish, was asked which country had the highest ratio of doctors to populace. His quick-witted answer, Israel. Or, in his own words, with that mischievous twinkle, the country with the most Jews.
Laughs, oh, buddy.
The audience roared, of course. Hackett himself apparently thought the real answer was Sweden, but his answer turned out to be correct.
It was actually Israel.
It was actually correct. For you, the listener, who might appreciate a good gotcha moment, a touch of surprising wit. This anecdote just perfectly highlights his quick thinking, the kind of spontaneous, often irreverent humor he brought to every single appearance.
That wonderfully illustrates a crucial aspect of how seasoned comedians like Hackett leverage their persona, even in the structured setting of a game show.
Right, it wasn't just about the answer.
Not at all. Hackett's answer wasn't just a random guess. It was infused with his identity, delivered with impeccable comedic timing, designed clearly to get a laugh, regardless of whether it was right or wrong. He just inherently understood the power of a provocative but ultimately harmless punchline.
Master the moment.
Totally. The fact that his playfully irreverent answer was correct just adds that extra layer to the legend, showcases his unique blend of genuine, lightning-fast wit, playful irreverence, and maybe a touch of surprising insight. It exemplifies his remarkable ability to turn any platform, however conventional, into an opportunity for spontaneous performance, deep audience engagement. Reinforced his image as quick-witted, hilarious, utterly unpredictable, a true master of the comedic moment, even when the clock's ticking and you need a fact.
Buddy Hackett's later career was just astonishingly diverse, really showcased his enduring appeal. From publishing poetry, to voicing animated seagulls, to embodying a comedy legend, he stayed incredibly prolific through the 70s and way beyond.
Poetry, I didn't know.
Yeah. 1974, published a book of poetry called The Naked Mind of Buddy Hackett. Surprisingly introspective for a guy known for being so boisterous.
Shows another side.
Then, he cemented his status as a voice-acting icon. Narrated the Rankin-Bass Christmas special Jack Frost in '79 as, pardon me, Pete, but most famously lent his unmistakable voice to that charming, scatterbrained seagull Scuttle in Disney's The Little Mermaid in '89.
Scuttle, of course, the dingle hopper.
Exactly. And the sequel, Return to the Sea in 2000. And not just comedy, he delivered a deeply dramatic performance as Lou Costello in the 1978 TV movie Bud and Lou, opposite Harvey Korman as Bud Abbott.
Playing Costello. That must have been intense. Required real depth.
Absolutely. What does this incredible, wide-ranging exploration of different creative avenues tell us about his lasting appeal and his artistic curiosity?
Well, what's truly compelling here is the sheer breadth and the unexpected nature of his creative output later on. His distinctive voice, so central to his stand-up, found this brand new life, a whole new, younger audience in animation.
Scuttle reached millions of kids.
Millions. As Scuttle, he introduced his unique cadence, his trademark timing, that inherent lovable quality to generations, cemented his voice in Disney lore, expanded his reach exponentially. Similarly, playing Lou Costello. That wasn't just mimicry, it was a deeply empathetic, dramatic performance. Allowed him to tap into the vulnerabilities, the profound dramatic weight behind the comedic.
His voice and face were just truly inescapable for decades. From Nobody Can Eat Just One to voicing Scuttle, Buddy Hackett was a constant presence in American homes.
You couldn't miss him.
Highly sought after for commercial work. Regular TV ads for Tuscan Dairy popsicles, yogurt, made him instantly recognizable even out of context. But his most famous campaign, the one etched into collective memory.
Gotta be Lay's.
Lay's potato chips, absolutely. That iconic slogan, "Nobody can eat just one," ran from '68 to '71.
A classic campaign.
In 1980, he even stepped back into hosting, led a syndicated revival of the classic Groucho Marx quiz show You Bet Your Life, though it only lasted a year.
Hosting Groucho's show. Big shoes to fill.
Huge. He also had numerous guest spots. The Big Valley, The Love Boat, Murder, She Wrote played Murray Gruen in No Laughing Murder in '87. L.A. Law, 2 episodes of The Fall Guy. He even guest starred on Space Rangers as a has-been comedian Lenny Hacker.
Lenny Hacker, a parody of himself. That's brilliant.
Brilliant, self-aware stuff. And he did comedy specials for HBO, too. For you, the listener, these ads, these diverse TV roles, they're probably etched in your memory. How did this constant, multifaceted presence contribute to his enduring household name status?
Well, this comprehensive presence raises an important point about how seasoned performers maintain relevance, maintain that ubiquitous presence across constantly changing media landscapes.
Adapting constantly.
Hackett's remarkable ability to transition seamlessly live stage, film, network TV, then mastering the commercial. speaks volumes about his incredible marketability, his universal appeal. He just inherently understood how to connect with audiences, whether selling a joke, embodying a character, or promoting a snack.
He knew his audience.
His distinctive voice, familiar face became these instantly recognizable symbols of humor, comfort, relatability. The Lay's campaign especially transcended mere advertising. It became a cultural touchstone, a phrase instantly linked to both the Chips and Hackett himself.
You hear the phrase, you think of him.
Exactly. He wasn't just endorsing products, he was infusing them with his unique, engaging personality, making them memorable. This multifaceted, highly adaptable approach made him a true multimedia star. In short, he remained a familiar, welcome, beloved figure in homes across America for decades. A truly rare feat in the fickle world of entertainment.
Even in his final years, Buddy Hackett continued to bring laughter, warmth, right up to the end. We're talking mistaken death reports, singing politicians, cherished late-night storytelling.
Always finding ways to connect.
In April '98, he guest starred on that HBO political satire Late Line, episode aptly titled Buddy Hackett. The plot centered on a news broadcast mistakenly reporting his death, led to these heartfelt, humorous tributes. Even real politicians, Robert Reich and Dick Gephardt, appeared, paying tribute by singing along to Hackett's Shipoopi from The Music Man.
Politicians singing Shipoopi for Buddy Hackett, that's amazing.
Isn't it? In his very final years, he also had that recurring, much-loved spot on The Late Late Show with Craig Kilborn called Tuesdays with Buddy. He'd share insightful stories, timeless routines, offered a glimpse into his rich career.
Or like holding court. A masterclass.
Exactly. And in '99, he appeared in 13 episodes of Fox's short-lived action series, playing a security guard chauffeur named Lonnie Dragon. What do these poignant late-career anecdotes tell us about the industry's enduring affection for him and his own unwavering zest for life, for performing?
Well, what's truly compelling here is that even as he aged, Buddy Hackett remained not just relevant, but truly beloved, revered across various spheres. The Late Line episode, with actual politicians singing his songs, mistakenly eulogizing him, speaks volumes about the widespread affection, the cultural penetration, the respect he commanded, transcended entertainment into public life.
He was more than just an entertainer.
Absolutely. His Tuesdays with Buddy segments became this kind of informal oral history of American comedy. Offered you, the listener, this direct, intimate connection to a bygone era through the eyes and voice of a master storyteller. Allowed him to share his wisdom, life experiences, timeless humor in a more reflective, personal setting. Became a cherished ritual for many.
Like appointment viewing.
For sure. These late career appearances unequivocally underscore his role as a revered elder statesman of comedy. Someone whose presence was always welcomed, always guaranteed to be entertaining, always cherished, right up until his final bow. Profoundly showcases his enduring zest for life, for connection, and for his craft.
These are truly serious honors, a profound testament to a career that brought immeasurable joy, laughter to millions across generations.
Well-deserved recognition.
Buddy Hackett received several prestigious accolades. He has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a Golden Palm Star on the Palm Springs Walk of Stars, dedicated in 2000, solidified his place among the greats.
Palm Springs royalty.
He was also named a Disney legend in 2003 for his significant contributions, specifically, of course, for Scuttle.
Disney legend status is huge.
Huge. And just recently, 2021, he got the well-deserved honor of induction into the New Jersey Hall of Fame, recognizing his roots, his impact. For you, the listener, seeing him recognized in such diverse, esteemed ways really puts his incredible impact, his lasting legacy, into a broader perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, connecting this impressive array of honors to the bigger picture. These awards aren't just for individual roles or brief moments of fame. They represent a lifetime of exceptional artistic contribution, profound cultural impact.
It's the whole career.
Exactly. His recognition as a Disney legend is particularly telling. Highlights how his distinctive voice, unique persona, heartwarming humor became this indelible part of cherished childhood memories for countless people, enduring across generations, solidifying his place in pop culture.
Scuttle is forever.
Forever. The Hollywood Palm Springs Stars, the New Jersey Hall of Fame, collectively celebrate a career that truly spanned the entirety of American entertainment. From humble beginnings to global recognition, these accolades unequivocally confirm his status not just as a popular entertainer, but as a significant cultural figure whose multifaceted work had a lasting, deeply positive resonance. It demonstrates the breadth and depth of his appeal.
Beyond the raucous jokes, the boisterous public persona, there was clearly a devoted family man, a big heart, A guy who even lived in a house with this truly fascinating, almost unbelievable past.
Oh, do tell.
June 12, 1955, Buddy Hackett married Sherry Cohen. Partnership lasted a lifetime. They first lived in Leonia, New Jersey, late 50s. Then, August 58, this sounds like something out of a movie, they bought the house previously owned by the deceased notorious crime boss Albert Anastasia in Fort Lee, New Jersey.
Anastasia's house. Seriously.
Seriously. After extensive renovations, they lived there through most of the 60s, made a home in this really storied location.
That's incredible. Only Buddy Hackett.
Right. They had 3 children, including their son, Sandy Hackett, who admirably followed his father into comedy. Opened for him for years, later created a poignant one-man show about his dad after his death.
Keeping the legacy alive. That's wonderful.
And in a beautiful philanthropic turn, 2003, just before he passed, Hackett and his wife established the Sanjita Animal Sanctuary in California's San Fernando Valley, a dedicated dog and cat rescue.
Oh, that's lovely. Shows his softer side.
And on a personal note, he was also an avid firearms collector, had a large collection he sold off later in life. What do these fascinating glimpses into his personal life reveal about Buddy Hackett, the individual, beyond the entertainer, for you listening?
Well, what's genuinely fascinating here is that striking contrast between his often raunchy material, his boisterous public image, and his clear, unwavering dedication to family, his profound commitment to causes like animal welfare.
2 sides of the coin.
It really raises that important question about the multifaceted, often complex nature of public figures. He didn't just entertain, he actively used his success, his resources to support things he cared deeply about, like rescuing animals. Speaks to a profound compassion, a generous spirit.
The Anastasia House story.
It adds this wonderfully quirky, almost Hackett-esque footnote to his personal life. Blends the ordinary with the extraordinary in a way that perfectly captures his unique charm. And his son, Sandy, not just following but actively building on his father's legacy, shows a deep family bond, the powerful transmission of a unique artistic talent. These intimate details paint a rich, complex picture of a man who was passionate, grounded, ultimately deeply caring. Left a legacy extending far beyond stage and screen into tangible acts of kindness, familial devotion.
A long, full life, lived on his own terms right up to the very end. In the early 90s, Buddy Hackett got diagnosed with severe heart disease, a serious thyroid.
Yeah, very serious.
However, with characteristic independence, he steadfastly refused to consider bypass surgery.
Wow. Stubborn streak, maybe.
Yeah. Seems like it. His heart disease was, in fact, confirmed as the primary cause of his death on June 30th, 2003. Passed away peacefully at his beach house in Malibu, age 78.
78. A good long run.
His son, Sandy, later clarified his dad had also suffered from diabetes for several years and tragically had a stroke nearly a week before his death, which also may have contributed to his demise.
So multiple factors at the end.
Yeah. For you, the listener, it's the culmination of this incredible life, truly lived fully in the public eye. A life filled with laughter, profound impact, and that unwavering spirit.
Connecting this to the broader picture of his life and career, Buddy Hackett's passing really marked the poignant end of an era for a specific, beloved brand of boisterous, heartfelt American comedy.
A certain kind of comedy definitely passed with him.
His resolute refusal of bypass surgery, while maybe medically ill-advised, speaks volumes about that strong-willed personality, that deeply independent spirit, characteristics he showed consistently throughout his career. A man who unequivocally lived and ultimately died on his own terms.
Stayed true to himself.
The combination of heart disease, long-standing diabetes, a recent stroke, underscores the quiet battles he fought behind the scenes, even as he continued bringing boundless joy and laughter to millions. It prompts us to reflect profoundly on the immense impact he had during his 5+ decades in entertainment and the truly unique void he left. Reminds us all of the inherent fragility of even the most robust, vibrant comedic spirits.
So what does it all mean? We've taken this comprehensive journey from the spirited Catskills Borscht Belt to the dazzling lights of Broadway, from the silver screen to the intimate glow of the small screen, meticulously tracing the incredible, multifaceted trajectory of Buddy Hackett.
Indeed, we've seen how Leonard Hacker, through sheer talent, tenacity, and that authentic, unfiltered persona, became Buddy Hackett. A man whose distinctive voice, unique humor, sheer undeniable versatility allowed him to connect so deeply with audiences for over half a century.
That connection was everything.
His remarkable ability to blend boisterous, often irreverent comedy with genuinely endearing, surprisingly vulnerable characters made him truly unforgettable.
He was the lovable, slightly rumpled auto mechanic, the bumbling yet heartfelt sidekick, the quick-witted, wisecracking game show guest. The instantly recognizable voice of a beloved animated character.
Yes, Scuttle.
He was more than just a performer. He was a force of nature, a true American original whose charisma just leaped across every medium.
He embodied a particular vibrant era of entertainment, yet his profound influence, the pure joy he brought, continued to resonate powerfully through time. He mastered the challenging art of making us laugh, but perhaps more profoundly, he mastered the art of being truly, unequivocally himself.
That's maybe the biggest lesson.
And graciously inviting us all along for that incredible, laughter-filled ride.
For you, the listener, we sincerely hope this deep dive has given you a renewed, enriched appreciation for Buddy Hackett's extraordinary life, his enduring legacy. The next time you hear that unmistakable voice or catch one of his classic, timeless performances, we hope you'll have a much deeper understanding of the fascinating, complex, often surprisingly poignant journey behind that unforgettable laughter.
And this deep dive leaves us with an important question to ponder, doesn't it? In a world constantly seeking the next big thing, the fleeting celebrity, what enduring, authentic qualities do you think allow certain performers, like Buddy Hackett, to not just achieve fleeting fame, but to truly become a timeless, beloved presence, etched indelibly into our cultural memory?
A truly powerful question to reflect on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the remarkable life of Buddy Hackett. We'll be back soon with another exploration into the fascinating stories and personalities that continue to shape our world.